My favorite pay dirt of the 40 or 50 I've tested so far is the 1 pound bag of Idaho Dredge cons from Jimbo's Gold. Not only does this have the most gold of any pay dirt I've tried, as high as a 170% return on investment, but it's also very clean material and a lot of fun to work with. I decided to buy some more in late summer of 2016, and I was surprised that the same 1 pound bag that used to be $23.99 in early spring is now $59.99. That's a big increase, so I sent an email to Jim, and as always he was very agreeable about explaining what's going on, and he said that this dirt is slightly different. Although it came from the same area within a mile of where he dredges, it is actually dredged by somebody else. So he has to pay them for the base dirt, the dredge ponds itself. So that increases the price. Also, the original bags had half a gram of added gold. This has a full gram of added gold. So what we have to do now is find out if the overall value is just as good. It looks a little different. I'm seeing some large dark chunks which weren't in the Idaho Dredge cons I got from Jim earlier in this year. So it'll be interesting to see if this material is the same. And here's the classification. As you can see, he doesn't exaggerate. There really is an enormous amount of black sand in this material. And what's even more interesting is, as I pointed out before, there's a number of black pebbles. And many of them appear to be magnetite, which is kind of unusual. Normally I'm used to magnetite being down around 20, 30 mesh or smaller. So that's nice. It's easily separated. While I was classifying, I always have a tweezers nearby, and I'm glad I did because I found at least 2 dozen nice little clinkers. So this is off to a good start. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, I did not buy this bag of pay dirt from Jimbo's directly. I had a friend buy it for me, so that just to make sure that I didn't get an extra sweet bag. Let's go on and see what the hand picking produces. Right, we're almost done. I'm just finishing up the hand picking of the 30 mesh material. Trying to see if there's any gold in here. Yeah, there's a little piece. All right, and that's pretty much all I see. Now all this material will get run through the miller table, of course, but I like hand picking. It lets me appreciate each piece of gold as an individual. And that's that. I usually don't hand pick below 30 mesh, and you can see what I got. This was the 12 mesh, nothing bigger than that. I found quite a bit in the 20 mesh, and here's all that I got out of the 30 mesh. So far this 1 pound bag of Idaho Dredge cons is producing pretty good. Now it's off to the miller table and see what else we can find. Before I start spooning material from a particular mesh size onto the miller table, I like to wash out all of the clay that's there because I don't like cloudy water. When I do this, I add some water and a little bit of jet dry to the pan, add the mesh grit, whatever size I'm dealing with, shake it around a little bit, pour off the water and any clay that goes with it. What this ends up doing is acting kind of like a crude panning, in that the heavier materials, the gold especially, tends to settle towards the bottom corner. As I start spooning it onto the miller table, I select the material furthest from the corner and work my way down. So these outer initial spoonings generally only get about 1 or 2 pieces of gold a piece, but once I get to the corner here, things get a lot more interesting. Let's see what we get. And here we go. This is about a 1/4 teaspoon of my 50 mesh material. It's looking pretty good. Okay, out of that 1/4 teaspoon of material, and I probably have a good tablespoon left, so there's at least a dozen of these left in the 50 mesh. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 pieces of gold. So out of that last tablespoon of the 50 mesh, I'll probably get 2, maybe even 300 pieces of gold. And that's pretty good. This is a lot of fun. And here's what we got from the Miller table. About a dozen more in the plus 30, 400 or 500 in the plus 50 mesh, and then a sudden drop off. I only found 3 in the plus 70 and 6 in the plus 100. The minus 100 yielded about 17 small pieces. So let's combine this with what we got out of the hand picking and see what the total weight is. And here we go. 1.183 grams. Let's crank the numbers and see what the return on investment is.